Now, propagating your Nepenthes through cuttings is pretty easy. You should start off with a hybrid of a species that grows very quickly and is easy to propagate. I'm using a ventrata here. As you can see, it's got quite a few prolific pictures. You saw before I started all this cutting how long this vine was. So what you do is you count 3 nodes or 3 leaves. So this is the tip, that doesn't count. 1 leaf, 2 leaves, 3 leaves. And you cut at an angle like this. This might be hard one-handed while I hold the camera. And that's how you make a cutting. So this next one would be 1, 2, 3, and I would cut right here, all the way up this vine, and then stop once you get to this. Focus. Once you get to the wood part, because you can't get really good cuttings out of these wooden parts. Okay, so we've got our cuttings made out. And again, we cut it to the 3 nodes, so you can see they have 3 leaves on here. Some are shorter than others, but it's kind of a judgment call. Sometimes you can do 4 leaves and go a little bigger if the nodes between leaves are too short. And what you do is you want to get a sharp pair of scissors, and you're going to cut the leaf off close to here, but leave some so that they can still take in light for photosynthesis. And if you're working with the tip, be very careful not to cut the growth tip, which is this part, because that's where the new leaves are going to come from and your plant will keep growing. And then what I do is I take the scissors and I scrape the very bottom, like this, like you're peeling a vegetable. And what this does is this will promote the growth of roots when you put your rooting hormone on. So it's not just growing roots from the bottom where it was cut at the angle, it's also going to grow roots from the side and make the plant healthier once it starts off. Okay. Now I use this rooting powder, and I mixed in some with this water in this jar, just enough to make it a paste. And then I stick the bottom of my plant into the jar so that all the part that I just scraped gets covered in the rooting hormone, like that. And then on the bottom, where most of the roots are going to come off, I have the dry powder in this lid, and I dab some on like that to make it white. Now I have this 4-inch square pot that's already got the long fiber sphagnum moss. I use the orchid one from Lowe's. It's a pretty good quality orchid moss, long fiber sphagnum moss. And then I make a hole like that. This is all wet, and I already put water in here. You can use rainwater or distilled water. And then I stick the new cutting in, and then I put the wet moss around it, and the roots are going to grow from that. And let's take another one. Now some of these are going to have like a lot of pictures like this one, and we're still going to cut those off, same as before. Can leave enough that the plant can get light and make photosynthesis, but you're going to want a little bit short so you have room, because we're going to bag these. Alright, and scrape off to expose the surface again. That's good. Put it in the rooting mixture. Get it on really good. Now you don't want to stick your plant into the rooting bucket, bottle. And then make another hole and stick it in. I can stick up to 7 plants. 6 is a good number. I've got one here that's already done. You can see it's got several cuttings. And then what you do is you take a plastic sandwich bag. This is a 1 gallon. And I stick the cuttings inside. And then I take a spray bottle, which is I already sprayed in there. You squirt it in. And then you seal some of the air out. Seal it up so that'll be in 100% humidity in there. And then I stick it under the grow lights for 30 to 35 days. And it should have roots by then. So we'll come back in a month and see how these guys are doing. Okay, so here we are in the future now. It's January 27th, 2013. And these cuttings are hardened off already and they're ready to be let out of the bag. I've been opening the Ziplocs a little bit every day. And that helps them to harden off. And I have already checked for them and they all have roots growing. Let's get one of these out. These are doing really, really well. Okay, there you can see the new growth coming in. Like these little spikes coming in from the side underneath where that right there. They come in at the top of the leaves that were cut, so it makes new nodes. And those will turn into new leaves and new pitchers. And these I'll eventually separate them all out into their own pots. They need to be watered. Let's get this one out. This one's got nice new growth there at the top. You can really see the new growth tip right there coming in. And the last one. They're a little bit curled up because they've been in the bags. But lots of new little spiky growth points coming in. And that's pretty much all it takes to grow. Make sure you start off with a species that is easy and that'll make good cuttings, that is known for striking well and developing a good root system. And Mirandas and Ventrators are some of the best for that.